הוא רוצה לצאת. תפתחי לו.
חשבתי אולי how to know about yourself if you're a Zionist.
כן, אבל זה ארוך. Okay, so we are now live together with Elik.
Hi everyone. I don't see the comments, but you do, right?
Yeah, I can see the comments. You can watch it. You can, no, you can't. Oh, you can open it on your computer. Just open my YouTube channel on your computer and you can see the comments.
All right.
Okay. Just open my YouTube channel on your computer.
But I have. Okay. So we're here. Long time, huh?
Yeah, we haven't done this in a very long time. If anyone is with us in the chat, please write something so that we know that you can hear us well, that you can see us well, that everything is working correctly as intended. Blessings.
Okay.
Okay, so can someone write in the chat that you can hear us well, that you can see us well? Elik, you want to explain why we are here?
So first of all, we haven't done this long time. I miss doing this.
Yeah, me too.
Hey,
I missed you guys. Much love from Brazil. Love back from occupied Palestine.
Love back, everyone. Yeah, we've both been traveling, and
yes,
think we got back here, and we both a bit depressed from being here. It's
yeah.
a different story.
Back in the cult.
Back in the but we wanted to discuss. We thought it could be a nice topic to discuss some Facebook posts that I wrote that raised the topics and like some topics and comments. So we thought maybe we can translate it, and
yes,
and I wrote it because I was following kind of back and forth that was between like some anti-Zionists and some liberal Zionists on Facebook.
yeah,
and it's a question about this discussions, but I felt that like the whole discussions was a bit revealing, and in this work we're doing, the trying to kind of deconstruct the mindset that holds like the Zionist belief. I felt like it's could be useful thing to do. Like actually it was your idea to translate it.
Yeah, so I will tell from my angle. I think it was 2 days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I opened Facebook and I saw that Elik just wrote a post, and I read it and I was like, so first of all I commented. You will see what I commented later. We will read it. But the post was amazing in my opinion, very sharp, very accurate, very important. I wanted to add some things and we will discuss whether there were some things missing, or if you want to like make stuff even more like clear. Because of some comments that you got as well. But I thought it's like what we need to talk about right now. And the subject, in my opinion, is the Zionist project, the fact that it is an inherently oppressive project and needs to be dismantled immediately. And of course, this means that the state of Israel that is a product of the Zionist project needs to be dismantled immediately. And if you don't support this, then this is the very definition of being a Zionist. That's it. Very easy. Um, I don't know if you agree with my rephrasing, but this is the way that I see it.
Yeah. Um, I agree with it. It's a simple truth, but
Yes.
nonetheless, when you are here, it's easy to make it kind of blurry. And I also, I think like many people, for example, the musicians I play with
Mm,
here,
mm, mm.
they're not fully on board with that. I
Yes.
play with them because they're willing to play my music.
Yes.
And I wouldn't, and I hope that through doing this, I will pull them over
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I am doing some work there, but many people here, I think, occupied Palestine, they, for example, go and do protective presence,
Yes.
and they,
which
you
is
can,
which is an important thing to do and
yeah,
very helpful, and I don't do it. Okay, I don't do it.
I
So
did
so
it
I
first
appreciate this.
time.
You did it for the
Yeah,
first time. Okay, yeah.
yeah, I can also
Okay.
share some experience,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe you can tell us. Yes.
but then you have this weird situation that you see people like, for example, this Rabbi Arik Asherman. You know who is he?
Yes. No, I'm not sure.
He is from Rabbis for Human Rights.
Okay, I know the organization. Yeah.
So he is holding there many, many volunteers, and all the Palestinians in the villages know him and depend on him. But then you ask his position, and he's a
Yeah.
two-statist,
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because you appreciate the work the man is doing, but on the other
Yes.
hand, like he misses the whole point in his
Yes.
overlook, and I don't know how to
Yeah.
relate to such people, and um, maybe I need to talk to him more in depth. Maybe it's not that he supports two-state solution, but someone told me that he's like still a Zionist, and I was kind of shocked.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These. Okay. So I want to add one more thing. I think. Okay. There's a lot of. I have a lot of thoughts about this because of everything that happened to me in the last few months and the processes that I'm seeing around me. And I can say, like, if I had to put it in one sentence, I will say this: the Zionist cult is now trying to consolidate its genocide and to pretend as if we now stopped, everything is okay, we are regaining our image as a democracy, everything is okay, everything is okay, forget about it.
Yeah,
Geno what? Forget about it. Forget about it. Nothing
yeah,
happened. Nothing happened. That's what they
yeah.
want, okay? And I think,
While they
okay,
keep killing, while the genocide is still
yes,
happening,
yes, the
maybe it's a
genocide is going on, okay? Let's make this point very clear, and I think this is another test to check whether you're a Zionist or not. Do you agree with what I'm saying now? The genocide is a process that started, depends on when you start counting, 100 years ago, maybe more than 100 years ago. It's an ongoing process that is being done by the colonialist project called Zionism. This is something that has been going on on different levels, different tactics, different intensities, but it has been going on for 100 years, maybe even more. What we saw in the past 2 years, since October 7th, 2023, was a very intense and dramatic phase of this ongoing genocide. And even this phase is not over yet because they're still killing a lot of people in Gaza and in the West Bank all the time. They're still attacking in Lebanon. I can hear the airplanes above my head going to attack in Lebanon like every day, a few airplanes. This is crazy.
uh,
So it's not over. It's not. It's they haven't finished the genocide in many many different aspects. Both in the aspect of this phase hasn't been done yet, and both in the aspect that until the Zionist project ceases to be, the genocide as a general process that has been going on for generations and generations will not stop. The only way to stop the genocide, capital G, genocide, is to dismantle the Zionist project. This is something that all Zionists need to understand. And this leads me to my main point, which is that it's very important to discern now between people who pretend to be against the genocide and people who are really against the genocide, real allies for the true and total liberation of Palestine from Zionist occupation and Zionist colonialism, to dismantle the Zionist project completely. We need to call for this, not just to an end to the genocide, because an end to the genocide will only come when the Zionist project is dismantled. Okay, so this is the context that I want to give to this conversation.
Yeah. Um, so do you want maybe to, it's a strong point. I feel like,
What do you think about it, if you have anything to add?
yeah, I'm thinking if I have anything to add to it. I'm thinking that, yesterday I talked to some woman that she's like, she knows a lot about the genocide that happened in the American
Yeah,
settler colonialism.
yes,
And she also said it was a process that lasted over many, 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 many years. It's
yes,
not something, and when you think today about this, the genocide that the native population had there, it wasn't just like 2 years, it's
yeah,
something that goes long time and it has phases, and sometime in the middle of this phase in this process there is some kind of agreements that
yes. But
like
there
you
are
had the
always
oath.
agreements between the powerful and the powerless, between the oppressors and the oppressed. And
Yeah.
such agreements are not real agreements. If there is, let's say, how do you, so in situations of יחסי מרות, how do you say, like
Mm,
dependence relations, power relations,
uh,
it is every time there is like a sexual relationship between someone in a power position over someone else, this is suspect at the very least, and some would say it's already problematic. So this is the kind of agreements that exist between the Zionist project and the Palestinians. It's an agreement of an oppressor. This is much more extreme, much more. It's just the same structure as what we said before, but this is much more extreme. The power relations here. So agreements between oppressors and oppressed are not real agreements. They are just another way to present the oppression. It's like you take the oppression and you flip it over and you put it in a box and wrap the box up really nicely, and then you present it as an agreement between the
and
oppressor and the oppressed.
and
This is
always
the two-state solution. This is what I want to say about the two-state solution. This is exactly what it is.
and also what you see that the oppressor never hold the agreement. Like like even this agreement that is a forced agreement that has the facade of agreement, they
Yeah,
break it. They
yeah,
said now ceasefire and they killed 200 and
yes,
something
yes,
people.
yes, yes,
And um and I think there are
yeah,
genuinely good people, because people like
yeah,
who go and do protective presence, you cannot say that they're like it's getting more and more dangerous and more
yeah,
scary, like
yeah,
settlers get more and more violent,
yeah,
but in the way they understand things something is missing. Now you can say some people are helpless and they only do it to feel good, but they don't want to dismantle the system. But I think some people are need to like
yeah,
there is that's why I'm like in my relations to people here I'm a bit I don't know who's it's like worth working
yeah,
with and who's not,
yeah,
on what situation do I cooperate and on what
yeah,
situation I need to struggle against. And I think
yes.
we'll sometimes have a disagreement between us about these questions at certain
I
points.
will say some thoughts about this, okay? I have some thoughts
Uh-huh.
about this. So let me try to describe the psychology and ideology of those people who we are now criticizing, okay? We are
Okay.
now saying there's a problem here, okay?
Yeah.
Let me try to give my opinion about what's going on here. So these people, I don't doubt that they care about Palestinians that they care about human rights, so-called human rights. By the way, am opposed to human rights for many reasons. To this thing, human rights, capital H, capital R, because it's a Western structure, because it's a human supremacist structure. But never mind this, okay?
Yeah, it's a this topic for a whole
That's a
discussion.
different topic. That's a
Yeah,
different topic. But I have to say this. Whenever I speak about human rights, I have to give this caveat. So
yeah.
anyway, but I still appreciate people who care about human rights because I think their hearts are at the right place, and maybe if they listen to my criticism, they will. So this is exactly the thing. Will they listen to my criticism? Okay? So I believe that their hearts are in the right place, but I also believe that there is a problem here that can be diagnosed as this concept privilege. Though this code word privilege is it's a technical term that's meant to describe the position of certain people or certain individuals within power structures, within
Hmm.
structures of supremacy, of oppression, hierarchical structures. Okay, privilege means that you're higher up in the hierarchy of oppression, exploitation, supremacy. Okay, this is what it means. And it means that your psychology, I'm not saying anything new. Everything that I'm saying now is just textbook political psychology of the 20th century. Okay,
Hmm.
when you are like radical, radical theory, okay?
Hmm.
Feminist theory, okay? Radical feminist theory, anarchist theory. This is something that's well understood. That once you have privilege within a system, you have a certain bias, okay?
Yeah.
And now the question becomes whether you are willing to face this bias head on, whether you are willing to look at yourself in a reflexive way and say, I am in a privileged position, therefore I have bias, therefore my opinion is shaped by my privilege, okay? To some extent at least, and this is what we're trying to criticize. Now the question is how much like conscious intent there is there, and I think this is a very difficult question, but I don't think we need to answer it because the criticism is already there. Please notice your bias, and please see that if you are opposed to the dismantlement of the state of Israel, maybe you gain something materially from the existence of the state of Israel, which means that you are choosing to support the oppression, and therefore you are not part of the solution but part of the problem. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it can be confusing. You know, it's confusing because you see someone who you see many people, for example, who resist the genocide and
Yeah.
even took personal risk in talking against it.
Mhm.
But
And
then when you ask,
lost a lot. People were
yeah,
arrested, people were abused,
yeah,
people were they suffered death threats, ostracization, fights with their families, a lot of things. And I don't want to minimize this because I experienced the same thing. And solidarity, okay, solidarity,
yeah,
okay. Let it
yeah,
be clear, solidarity, okay. First of
yes,
all, okay.
yeah.
But
But
okay,
then you talk to them and you feel okay, but would you be ready? And this takes us, I think, to the post. Maybe now it's
yeah,
maybe time
yeah, yeah,
to
exactly.
live in equality. Would you be ready to have to be under the same system with equal rights? And if not, why not? Because and then the thing is that you can work to help people that you are still racist against them. And this
Yes.
is a very weird thing, but it happens and we need to spot it
But
like,
the word racism, I think
mhm.
is not like it's not the correct word here. You can say racism, but when
But
you
it's
say
not
race,
racism. What
hold
is
on.
it if not
I want
racism?
to elaborate on this, okay? When you
Okay.
say racism, there is a I think it is racism under a certain definition, okay?
Okay.
But when you say the word racism, sometimes people think that what you mean is that they consciously and deliberately, okay, discriminate against specific people just because they are of a certain race, okay?
Hmm.
That's what I think people understand. And I think that this is not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is collaboration with a racially supremacist system. Okay?
Mm.
And then you can say, yeah, but I'm not racist. Okay. But are you collaborating with a racially supremacist system? I don't care if you're racist. I don't care what's in your heart and mind. Like, I do care, okay? But this is not the point. This is not the discussion here. What I care about is what you are doing, what kind of system you are collaborating with. And if you are collaborating with this system, then it doesn't matter if in your heart of hearts you are not racist, because you're still collaborating with the system out of material interest.
Mm. Okay.
So I think it's very important to explain this context when you say racism, because I think maybe you can have misunderstandings because of this, because people think that you're accusing them of something, okay, which is true,
But
but not that's not the accusation.
but I think there is some also level of the straightforward racism that you described. Because if I think these people are equal to me, so why wouldn't I and why won't agree to live with them in equality? Like, I don't
So
know.
okay, so we will read the comments on your post, and we will see some examples for this, okay, and we
Okay.
will analyze it. But I want to read one comment before in the chat, okay,
Okay.
from Nabuligo. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Hi guys, a lot of love from Italy. A half Palestinian guy here. Hi Nabuligo, nice to meet you, and we
Very
hope
nice
that
to
you
meet
come
you.
watch more live streams and participate in the chat, because we want solidarity and cooperation with Palestinians. Okay. Um, I have a question. Can you explain why standing together has something wrong? It's a genuine question. I'm not able to take. I don't know. I don't understand the last sentence. Maybe you got cut off in the middle. In the middle, but I understand the question, and uh, the
You wanna go?
comments the comments on the post will lead us to speak about standing together. I just want to say very shortly that in the last few months, I've been starting to comment on Standing Together's page, especially the one in English, more and more. And my comment, the kind of comments that I leave, are exactly the kind of things or very similar or adjacent to the kinds of things that we will talk about regarding your post. So I will explain what my criticism of Standing Together is. But let me just hop to the toilet real quick, and maybe just tell people, what did you say? What experience did you want to talk about?
Me?
Yeah, before you said you wanted to. Oh, you going to protective presence. No, but I want to hear about it. So just say some stuff that you want to say, and I will be back in 3 minutes, okay?
Okay. Um, so it's always stressful when I'm here alone. Yeah, I think like I kind of want to tell, I don't know if people follow us. For a while, I didn't do anything online except for the music. And I think like this time I'm a bit confused about what the right thing to do. And I think also like this topic of this live, also like the question of who to collaborate, what should we do? Should I've been traveling for a while, both me and Alon, and I think there's always I feel that there's a huge gap between the pro-Palestinian movement outside Palestine, which is very, I feel, uh, way more clear in its demands for like liberation, for dismantling of Zionism, for creating one state for all. And here, the moment you land here, like, first of all, you discover that really not a lot of people are on board with that. Like, even the ones that are kind of considered to be the radicals, you tell them like, yeah, that Israel is a settler colony, people start to and you say like, for example, let's implement the right of return, not as a symbolic gesture, like really think how we implement it. um, and people start to back off, and there's this feeling of like, I was talking with telling that every time you go outside occupied Palestine, you feel the huge gap between the movement that it feels that is kind of established in its target. I don't know, like, of course, not everywhere people agree, and there is always disagreements, and we need to learn to work with disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there is kind of, it's clear that the dismantling of Zionism is like, it's obvious. You don't need to argue about it with people. And then you land here and you want to collaborate with people, but then you see that most of people are kind of a bit behind, far behind this,
So I
and
see it
it's
as the
a
effect of
difficult
fascism.
experience. Hmm?
I see it as a result of the fascism. The fascism
Yeah,
is it makes people desperate. It makes people ignorant. It makes people fearful. It makes
yeah,
people poor. It makes people dependent. It makes people into slaves, and it makes everyone into slaves. This is why I hate fascism, because it makes
yeah,
everyone into slaves, both materially and in the level of
yeah.
consciousness. So
It's
this is why
always
I hate
there.
fascism, and this is why I'm an anti-Zionist, because Zionism is a form of fascism, and I want to dismantle any fascist system, like Zionism, like human supremacy, like capitalism, like statism, like all these systems, like patriarchy, all these systems, these fascist systems, bye bye. This is what I
But
want.
I feel like it's, what did I want to say? I had something in.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, no, it's okay. It was relating to what you said, but then somehow I had. Never mind. You want to go to the
Yeah,
post,
let's start
and
reading the post. Let's go. Yeah, let's go for it.
we are good in declaring a subject, and then like
No, but I think this gave a lot of
it gave
very
it on.
relevant background, and now we can
So,
read the post and
but first
really
of
understand.
all, I want to say, so it was relating to a guy that, and but should I name names or not? I'm not talking
No,
against him,
don't say
but
names. Just say who the person is and like
okay. So
what
it's
kind of place they have in the on the political spectrum. This is
okay. So it's a guy that is owner of some club in Tel
okay.
Aviv,
Yeah.
and it took him some time, but he started writing posts that I really appreciated against the genocide in Gaza. It was always very factually based,
Yes.
very informed. He
Mm-hmm.
knows how to take information and condense it, and also not like backing off like many people wrote against him, and he was keep pushing. But he
I will
didn't
just
talk.
say, I also read a few posts, maybe even dozens of posts along the last few months by him, and I do appreciate his take. Um,
Mm,
and I think he's like a great example for one of these people who are on the cusp. And also, I want to say he's going through a process. Okay,
yeah,
I see him actually looking, and I think that it's good that you criticize him because then I think he might think more. We will see. This is another
yeah.
question that we
It's a
want to answer.
question.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, like, yeah, and I also appreciated him because he wrote a post that said why that he didn't talk about the genocide at the beginning, that he regretted, and that his friends, the anti-Zionist friends in Berlin, were correct and he was
Yes.
wrong. And I didn't see a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
started talking about it a year after,
Mm-hmm.
with like complete not acknowledging that they were silent, with not
Yes.
showing any
Yes.
regret. And I was like,
Yeah.
even me, I many times publicly took responsibility about my silence about
Yes.
Zionism from years before, and I think it's
Mm-hmm.
something that it's important that we will do
Yes.
um, people who grew up in this system and collaborated, it's okay. You're not guilty just being born here, but at least acknowledge your participation,
Mm-hmm.
show some remorse, show some introspection. Like, I think it's important. Um, so he did that, and he started writing a lot of posts against the genocide, but it wasn't clear to me what his take on Zionism in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was invited to speak in Indie Negev in a festival.
Yeah, it's like an indie music festival. But we talked about this festival a few times on this channel, and we talked about how this festival takes place very near to the Gaza wall. and
Yeah.
that we were in this festival very near to the Gaza wall. This is very similar to
The
the
Nova.
Nova Festival,
Yeah.
where there was a big massacre on October 7th. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we were in such a festival, okay?
Yeah.
You talk about acknowledging the fact that we were part of the Zionist system. There, here it is. Here it is. I went to a festival on the Gaza Wall. I was very ignorant and I didn't understand the meaning of what I was doing. Something inside me kind of said, "Is this okay?" But I didn't understand what was going on enough to listen to this part and to investigate more. And only years later did I truly understand the fucked up meaning of what I was doing.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, yeah.
So he
And
was
I had
invited.
fun. I had fun at Hindi Negev. I had fun. It was a fun festival. It was
Yeah.
fun. I
Yeah.
had
I
fun.
performed there. I
You,
performed there
yeah,
with music with a
yeah.
band that was about peace. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
another.
yeah. This is crazy. We were part of this system. We are still part of this system. We acknowledge this and we're working towards dismantling this and deprogramming ourselves. And this is the big question. Are you working towards the direction that you're going? Yeah, the
Yeah.
direction that you're going.
Right. It's yeah. We will see in this post. I also got comment that I'm Zionist, and it's
Yeah, okay.
interesting by a woman that I genuinely appreciate. I
Yes,
read
okay.
some of her articles, and
Okay, start reading the post.
but I
Or
just
start
finished
explaining
the
the context
context.
of the post.
Finished the context. He was invited to speak there, and they wanted him to come with a Palestinian, and then he invited a Palestinian that Zionists really like, because this Palestinian is always talking, condemning Hamas. He's
Okay.
talking about the responsibility that Palestinians have to take
Yeah,
as a society for
yeah.
choosing violence. And he got attacked by many
Mm.
radical anti-Zionist leftists for this choice. And then there was a lot of back and forth between him, who posed kind of more, let's say, liberal Zionist position, who said like, okay, the Palestinians do need to take responsibility on the 7th
Yes,
of October.
yes,
And he said, I'm criticizing my society, so why is it not okay to ask them to do the same? You know, like
yes.
putting this false
Both
equivalency,
siding.
both siding.
In two hyphenated words or one word, I don't know, both siding.
Yeah,
And there was a Palestinian man that I follow on Facebook, and I really appreciate his opinion regarding Zionism. Uh, he criticized the the club owner that is, we are claiming, a liberal Zionist. He was criticizing him, and there was an exchange between them, right?
yeah, there was an exchange, and this Palestinian guy told him, I'm here to help you rip off your supremacy. And
Yes.
kind of this guy kind of pushed him back for
Oh, he
this. He
said
said,
you're being condescending.
yeah, you're being condescending. I don't, and he said, I don't feel supremacist on you. And again, it's
Yeah, this is what we're talking
misunderstanding.
about.
Yeah, thinking that it's a personal thing and
Yeah.
not,
You're
like,
part of a supremacist system. Please
yeah,
understand. Please. This is the point. You are part. This is what I'm. Okay. I really want to drive this point home, okay? Because this is really important to me. My goal is that every single living being on this planet will live with freedom, with equality, with justice, with prosperity, harmony between everyone, no violence, no oppression, no hierarchies, no control. This is what I want, okay? What do I want to do? What do I think we can do to achieve this dream? I think the problem is oppressive systems, and I think we are all, especially humans, we created oppressive systems, and we continue maintaining oppressive systems, and we are part of the oppressive system. And I want everyone to look at themselves and see how they are part of oppressive systems, and please, honestly, This is exactly what you wrote in the post, basically, right?
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
honestly ask yourselves, are you part of this oppressive system? If you are part of this oppressive system, please do everything that you can as quickly as you can to be less part of this oppressive system until you take almost no part in almost any oppressive system. This is
In the
what,
level that it's possible, because
yes,
unfortunately, in many level, it's not possible. But like, I don't know.
try your best. This is
Yeah,
try your best, okay? And part of it is acknowledging this and understand that you have psychological barriers to see this. You need to do good, difficult, intense, honest work to see how you are part of the systems. This is an ongoing process that you and I have been doing for years, and we are not done. This is a okay. How do you see someone? How do you recognize someone who's actually doing this? They always say, I'm far from being done. Okay?
yeah,
If someone tells you, I'm not supremacist, you can say to them with 100% confidence, you are supremacist. Because otherwise, you would never say this. You would see how you are still supremacist and you would continue working. You would know that it will never be finished.
yeah, yeah,
Read the post?
yeah. So you
Okay.
send me the English version, right?
Yeah. Read it. Read it.
Um, okay. Okay, it's okay that I'm in profile right now. You hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
we hear well.
So I read the whole thing?
Yes, but we read one paragraph and then we will talk about it.
Okay. I've recently read a lot of discussions about radical left versus Zionist left because of conversation raised by blah 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 to between blah blah blah.
Already, I want to say that Zionist left is an oxymoron, in my opinion. It's liberal
Yeah,
Zionism, but never mind.
liberal Zionism. Okay. You can also say that this is oxymoron, isn't it? But okay.
No, I think liberalism works well with Zionism because I think liberalism is a form of fascism, but never mind.
Okay. It's also a topic because the
Yeah,
word itself, liberty, is like
yeah.
fine, right? But it's
It's a
okay.
bastardization of terms.
Okay. I'm torn between feelings like I'm totally burned out. I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. Because I feeling this, I have the energy of this circular discussion because it was a lot of back and forth.
Yes, yes.
And thinking that this is an important discussion, and I'm grateful to
The people
Shmulik.
involved in it.
I call him Shmulik. It's not his name.
Okay.
From bringing him to the surface, because without taking these things, without talking about this thing, it's impossible to understand and
Okay.
dismantle limiting belief.
So you think that any discussion is good discussion because it raises, or at least this discussion is a good discussion because it raises important subjects in ways that we
Yeah,
can address.
yeah,
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
continue.
Because many people
Yeah.
write, "Why do we have these discussions on social media? It's a
Yeah.
waste of time.
I don't think it's a waste
Let's
of time.
do things on the ground." And I agree with it to a certain extent, but that's how we evolve through talking, through
I, I
discussion.
think I think there is a very important and deep point here that the systems of oppression work through our consciousness. We are all slaves to those systems of oppression, partly, or you can even say mainly, because our minds are enslaved to these systems. And therefore, if we liberate our minds, we have solved much of the problem. Okay? I think this problem is very much on the consciousness level because there is no physical barrier. What I love saying is that there is no physical law that prevents us from reaching a world of peace and harmony within years. There's
Yeah,
no technological, limit to this. Like the problem is not technology. The problem is not physical. The problem is in the consciousness, and this is why changing our consciousness is so important, in my opinion. It's critical.
yeah. But like I also, understand sometimes I feel like that, the social media space
Yeah.
kind of give us the feeling of,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's
Like
enough
being
or
an activist without being an activist. So you
yeah,
have to make sure that what you're doing is actually actually changing the consciousness of people to the better, and that this is part of a bigger thing that you're doing, that you're also doing things on the ground. But don't forget this part and don't belittle this part. Sometimes it
Yeah.
can be too much, and sometimes it can be circular. Everything that you do can be
Yeah.
criticized. Okay,
Yeah.
every activism can be criticized, and you need to have a healthy balance of like different things. Please continue. If we stop every 2 minutes, we will not finish this post
Right, right.
until tomorrow.
Okay. In the end, okay. Ultimately, after thinking about the topic, I want to share simple insight that arose from this discussion. In the end, all the questions and discussions, in my opinion, boil to one simple question, which I see as a personal test for whether you are a Zionist or not.
Mm-hmm.
This question, should I continue? You want to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
something?
continue,
Mhm.
continue, continue.
Okay. This is a question you need to ask yourself alone in front of the mirror and answer honestly and simply to understand where you stand. All the other questions, in my view, are less important and derived from the answer you give to this one. And the question is, are you ready to live here with Palestinians in equality? From this question, other questions are derived, such as, are you ready for your prime minister of the country to be Palestinian? Are you ready for your neighbors in your neighborhood and street to be Palestinians? For the space you move in to be predominantly Arab? And are you and the members of your group native Hebrew speakers to be a minority, even if a large one?
Okay, so now you're saying, are you willing to relinquish some of the privileges that you have
Yeah,
obtained by being part of this system? Are you ready
yeah,
for this?
yeah, yeah.
This is
Right.
exactly what we're talking about.
It's this, it's what you say. Yeah, it's saying this in other words. Yeah,
Yes, you just specified it in the case of Zionism.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, or some of it. Some of it.
yeah,
There are other aspects of
yeah.
it that in my comment I treated other aspects of this.
Right. But
Yes.
I wrote this. It's kind of, I didn't write it in the post, but why would the place become more Arab is obviously because we implement the right of return, and
Yes.
there's not going to be places that are going to be purely Hebrew and Jewish. It's
Yes.
just not going to
Yes.
be happen in
Yes.
liberated Palestine.
Because the majority of the population between the river and the sea, a small majority, is Palestinian. Okay? Jews
Yeah.
are a minority between the river and the sea. And if you count Palestinian refugees living in other countries, then they are a two times majority. Something like almost two times more Palestinians than there are Israeli Jews. Okay?
Yeah, and people want to tell me you want to turn Israel into a Palestinian state. No, this is what it is. This is what
Yeah.
it
Israel
was.
is a structure built upon Palestine.
Yeah, and it's not it's and it doesn't have to do with what I want. Like even like I can say you can say I don't like Germans, but I'm not entitled to go to Germany and create a non-German
Yeah.
Germany, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
Germany. It's like
Yeah. And let's just say something very simple.
I'm not saying I have problem with Germans. I just
Yeah.
saying yeah.
But it is a more just solution for Germany to give an area to the Jews
Right,
and so forth and so on. But never mind, this is
right, yeah,
sidetracking. What I want to say is more important. So there is a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., if I'm not mistaken, that says that you can't set a timetable on another man's freedom. And let
yeah.
me first generalize on another living being's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And let me rephrase this and say that demanding equality, demanding justice, demanding freedom is not demanding anything. Okay? This should be the default. This should be taken for granted that everyone has this. To begin with, any deviation from the situation of equality, justice, and freedom is oppression. This is the very definition of oppression and should be dismantled immediately. Period. Period. Any decent person needs to agree with this. If you do not agree with this, in my book, you are by definition an indecent person. Okay?
Mm.
And an extension of what I said is that there is no excuse to support oppression. No excuse. You can tell me stories until hell freezes over. But these are just stories, okay? You are just trying to excuse why you support inequality, why you support injustice, why you support exploitation and enslavement and oppression. So there is no excuse. If you say, I am for equality, but then I don't give a shit about what comes after this but, because it does not matter. It does not matter. If you find yourself saying, I believe in equality, but, then shut up immediately. You will be better off. Okay? Please.
Yeah, but basically you said what the post says in a way,
Okay, yeah.
but no, it's okay. But that's the point. Should I go on?
Yes,
Okay. So I said, if you need to ask yourself, am I ready to live in equality with Palestinians? If the answer is no, for a variety of excuses, this is what
yes,
you said,
yes,
and reason, then you are still infected with Zionism and
yes,
superiority.
yes.
It's not terrible. You can overcome it. I
Mm.
honestly admit that I too, for still fear a reality of equality. I still don't speak Arabic, and I
Mm.
recognize that racism and fear of Arabs that was instilled in me from the moment of I was born, from the moment I was born. But despite, and this is what you said before, recognizing that it's an
Yes, yes.
ongoing process.
This is why I love this post, because you touched so succinctly and accurately on so many points that I've been thinking about so much recently. And you see, it's just pouring out of me because I haven't talked in a long time, and like
Yeah.
I had all these thoughts and they were just waiting to be said. And you said everything. Like this is exactly the subjects that I want to address.
Yes. Um, I've done the, but despite all that, I've done the necessary work on myself to understand that I need to overcome. Um, wait, I lost it. That I need to overcome to truly be part of this place.
Yes, yes.
I
And
have,
this now you're talking about the separation of the settler from the land that they are supposedly living on. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
they're living in a golden cage.
yeah. You live in a country, and honestly, it's an Arab country. Okay, there is a place for everyone, but the majority are Arabs, and it has Arab heritage.
Yes,
Like
yes.
for many, I don't know, thousands of years, and
At least hundreds of years. It also has Jewish heritage. Okay, no one is denying this. No
yeah,
one is denying this.
right, yeah. It also has this. We have and but you need to, yeah. So, okay, I have imagined myself 1,000 times living in Palestine, where the majority are Palestinians, and I realized that overall it would be pretty great if Zionists would just stop being afraid, get rid of their Zionism, and simply understand where they live.
Yes, I want to say something about this. I
Mhm.
too, like, yeah, I have some fears, like basic fear of change. You're uncertain because change
Mhm.
is always uncertain. But when I truly think about it, about a free Palestine, I get feelings of hope. I get feelings of freedom, of reparation, of I get feelings of harmony. Okay, I
Mhm.
imagine a free Palestine as a very harmonious place where we can meet with Muhammad Zrai, our friend who lives in
Mhm.
Gaza, who we talked with on your channel, Sound of Anarchy, on the Yalla
Mhm.
podcast, and we can have hummus with Muhammad, and we can talk about politics, and I can convince him to go vegan, and we will have a wonderful conversation. And This is what I want. This is what I want. And it's always the resistance that I get from Zionism and Zionists is that they always twist this. They manage to find ways to twist these words, and we will see this in the comments. This desire into something sinister. What
Yeah,
the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
This is all we fucking want. We want equality, justice, peace, harmony.
yeah,
Stop it. Stop it. This is all we want. Stop it. Stop it. People who tell me that I want violence, fuck you. No. What the fuck? No, no, no. You're not listening. You're not
yeah.
listening.
You're not listening.
You're being
And
aggressive. Yeah, because you're killing. So at the very least, I can allow myself to speak aggressively against the killing.
it's
Okay,
goes
continue the
down.
post. Are
Yeah.
you almost
Okay.
done?
Okay. The fact is that they don't live in constant anxiety like the Zionists when they live in Germany or United States
Yes.
or anywhere else. It is the racism and deep-seated fear of Arabs that prevents them from accepting that they're living in Palestine, which has
Yes.
been an Arab land for hundreds of years, and in the Middle East, which is an Arab region. Whether you like it or not, this is the reality. If you don't accept it, you're a colonialist.
I want to say something.
Mhm.
Um, I, as an anarchist, do not want passports to exist because I do not want borders to exist. I do
Yeah,
not want identity cards to exist because I don't want control to exist. Okay? But in a world where passports exist, in a world where state exists, I much, much, much prefer uh, the state of Israel to stop existing and for it to be replaced with a state called Palestine that stretches from the river to the sea, where everyone lives equally, justly. I want to call myself Palestinian. I want to have a Palestinian passport and I want to call myself Palestinian. This is what I want. And if you, for some reason, find this threatening, then please look at yourself and see why you find this. Why do you find this symbol threatening? What is the problem with this symbol? Ask yourself truly, and you will see that you are afraid of equality, that you are afraid of justice, that you are afraid of freedom. And this means that you have to work on yourself.
yeah.
Okay.
It takes a lot under like it's also a question how much is it what is the internal work and what is the because I think from the comments we will see that people miss the point that I'm talking about the internal work.
I will say that they may have intentionally missed the point. Maybe not
Yeah,
consciously, but intentionally.
yeah.
Did you finish reading the post, or is there more?
I'm saying you can ask many questions
Hmm.
there but in the end it's endless loop that try to prevent person who claims he wants justice and equality from asking themselves if they are really ah okay sorry. There are endless loop designed to prevent the person who claims to be for justice and equality from asking themselves the simple question if whether they are personally ready to live in reality of justice and equality.
Yes.
Most of the time when people raise arguments but for like how we will get there, and I said this because this guy we were talking about said he objects the one state solution because how we will get there, that was his argument. So
But again,
and this is
again, how will we get where? How will we get to a situation of equality, justice, and freedom? How will we get there? I
yeah.
don't know. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And so I said it is an excuse for the fact that they themselves are not ready to accept the reality, even in their own imagination.
Mm,
As my friends in the New Age community says, the change begins from within.
wonderful. Okay. So maybe you can read, first of all, you can read the original person you were answering to, the person we were talking about, the club owner, what his
Mm.
reaction to. I will read it. I will read it.
Okay.
I have it here. I have it here.
Okay.
One second. Let me find it. I think we must know. We translated everything with AI, okay? I think we must know if it will truly be a secular, democratic, and liberal state. If so, then I'm all in, fully committed. If not, then we'll move somewhere else. And then he's challenged by someone who is, I don't know, are they an anti Zionist or not, but like on the verge. Uh, but that should be true always, meaning even in the correct in the current situation, right? Like you don't know, like the question of whether equality, justice, and freedom are present for everyone equally is independent from the question of whether there is other systems of oppression. You're just now using patriarchy, organized religion, all kinds of other oppressive systems to justify this oppressive system.
Yeah.
Do we want more or less oppressive systems? You cannot, please, please, please. If your argument is of the following form, there is this oppressive system, therefore I should support this oppressive system, then I'm sorry, but your argument
Mm.
makes zero sense on its face. I don't even need to read the specific words. The structure of the argument makes no sense, okay?
But this is
One
what.
second, one
Okay.
second. It's quite difficult to call Israel a secular, democratic, and liberal state, okay? And then he answers, that's true, but it's not black and white. I'm sorry. This is just eye roll. I'm sorry. It's not black and white. Listen to yourself. There
Mm.
are many shades in between. Right now, at least in my feeling, I think we are still closer to the secular, democratic, liberal end than to the other end. Okay. And okay. Well, what is your answer to this?
So first of all, it's showing how he's off, right? Because it's not even close to the model of secular liberal.
Yes.
Just he's on the privileged group in an apartheid system that committing genocide, and the reason and he said, if it's not going to be this, I move to somewhere else. Why don't you now move to somewhere else? Because you're on the
Yeah.
top of the hierarchy. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you can say it. So
There is a lot of feminism and LGBTQ fights and everything inside Israel,
yeah.
but between the river and the sea, most women are having a very bad time. Most gay people are having a very bad time, and why? Because of Zionism. So if you are for liberation of women, of LGBTQ plus people, of people of all ethnicities, of all animals, then you should object to Zionism. Please do not use this is a dangerous inversion. Dangerous.
but what he writes, and I think there is two more comments along his lines. I don't think
Yes.
we need to
Yes.
translate them too, of
Yes.
another friend of mine. And
Yeah.
that too, a lot of people who comment is people who I have personal relationships to, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
part of the process here of trying to make them see, and it's very frustrating. But another comment, it was like just exactly like you said. It was, yes, I agree, but and
But
then she said, uh, and what you understand from this comment is that if we have democracy with Arabs, they
yeah.
are going to oppress us, they are going
Yeah.
to oppress women, they are going to
Yeah.
kill gay people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the liberal excuse why to support the apartheid system.
And by the way, this is the exact excuse that we heard from Yuval Noah Harari, the distinguished professor and supremacist Yuval Noah Harari, who told us that sometimes certain people are not ready for democracy. And I
Yeah.
agree, certain people are not ready for democracy. One very, very extreme example for someone not ready for democracy is Professor Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like kind of this paradoxical argument because they support the most undemocratic system that can be, that inflicts starvation, the most extreme violence on the
Yes.
majority of a population under the
Yeah.
same regime,
Yeah.
in order to protect their democratic rights of another group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it tells you something about liberalism in general. It's true that in Palestine it's very extreme because it's happening on the same territory, but you can expand it and look at the whole world as kind of a system of apartheid and privilege,
Yes.
where the global north is doing this shit to the global south and say, but they are not democratic, like it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a microcosm. Badam Panada has been doing a lot of videos about this subject, about how U.S. Americans are predominantly superior, supremacist, and they support the oppression of people from anywhere that is not the U.S. In order to maintain their system of privilege, and they will say, "Yes, we support socialist candidate, we support Bernie, blah 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 blah." But most people in the U.S. Want to oppress the rest of the planet to get privileges. This is just
Yeah.
the same as Zionism. It's the same, only on a larger scale, so it's less obvious, but it's the same as Zionism. And Zionism is based on Western supremacy. It's based on this white supremacy. It's part of this system.
Yeah, and but I wonder, like, what would you tell these people if you talk to them? Because I get every time when I try to talk about like one democratic state solution with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say in my circles, because my circles that I grew up in are more towards the secular liberal,
Mm-hmm.
and you confront people who claim to have the beliefs about, human rights with the caveat that you put on it, but they believe in it. They're feminist and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, like, look how Palestinians treat women, for example. And now I don't want to, romanticize the Palestinian society. It
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of patriarchy. It has a lot of oppression because of religion. But still, first of all, I feel like that they always but there also, this criticism is also very ignorant. It's not that they really know the
Mm-hmm.
Palestinian
Or
society
that they
who has
really care. Or that they really care, to be
or
honest.
that they really care.
I need to use the toilet really quickly. Maybe you can say your reply to this, and then when I get back, I will say my reply to this, and we will see if it's the same. Okay?
Yeah. Um, so I think, first of all, the reply is to acknowledge the situation now that is completely undemocratic and nonsensical to uh, if and to admit that what existing now is not a liberal order where women have right and LGBTQ have right, it's a system of privilege that is allowed only to a certain privileged group of people. Now, I think that the second thing that saying that Palestinians, the moment that they will get democracy, the first thing that they will do is to oppress women and stuff like this. That this is based on a lot of racism and ignorance about the Palestinian society. Like, for example, um, for just like for one example is that I watched the movie like about the Gaza, like for example about the marches for Gaza March for Freedom of A.B. Martin, and you see that the movement is pretty much led by women, like the marches, and it seems like to me, watching it, understood. Okay, it doesn't seem. Maybe it's not what I know. Maybe I was ignorant. Maybe all this claim that it's only like. I think that there's a lot of ignorance about and fear of the other because I don't know, for many reasons. What I said now that
No. I will say
okay.
my opinion, and then we will see if it's the same. Okay.
Wait,
I
so
want
I
to
will
play a
just
game.
finish. Okay, I
Yeah.
said it that I think there's a lot of
We
racism and
cannot play the game. You're
ignorance.
spoiling the game.
Okay, now say what you think.
Yeah. Okay. So what I
What?
think. Okay, I have many thoughts, but one of them. Um, so one of them is that you can't put a timetable on another living being's freedom, like I said before.
Yeah.
But another thing that I want to emphasize is that there's no honesty here. Okay? Like the people claiming that they are oppressing in the name of liberation are lying. Okay? This is not true. The reason that you want to oppress is because you get material benefit out of it. And I think that when they say a liberal society, what do they mean? They mean that they get the rights, okay, and that maybe if we allow it, maybe the Palestinians get some more rights, but they keep their power. This is what they mean all the time. So this is the main thing that's annoying me here, because they don't really mean it when they say it.
But don't you think there is a genuine fear of becoming
Okay, but
oppressed
the fear has
and
been manufactured. The fear has been manufactured in an artificial way by a system of oppression and implanted in their minds by the Zionist propaganda and indoctrination that they have been exposed to from day zero. This is what we talked about. We also possess some of this fear because the system that we were born into put it into our brains, and we must dismantle and deprogram it. That's it. The fear is not real, okay? It's not real. It's not
yeah,
reality.
it's also not based on true, it's not that the average Zionist crossed the wall and lived with
Yeah.
Palestinians and know anything about the society. It's a situation when you have tons of opinions about society that all your life you've been trained to fear of and to take part of its oppression, and there's huge walls. Like, you cannot claim. I think the honest, when someone telling me like, yeah, they're not like ready for them, but what do you know
Yeah.
anything about
Yeah.
them? Like,
I,
what do you know
I
about
want
them?
to add. Okay. One of the claims that we are trying to make, or that I'm trying to make, tell me if you agree, is that in the end, everyone who is a Zionist, everyone who has some Zionism inside them, serves the system in some way. And when you look at it from a little bit, like you take the perspective, you will see that the differences between the different kind of Zionists are not as big as they might seem at first, and they're definitely not as big as the liberal Zionists would claim. And here is an example, okay? What are they saying? They're saying that the liberation of Palestine and the Palestinians depends on the Palestinians behaving. Why? Because if they have equality and freedom, then they would, not will, not are, would do something to us. Okay? So we see this structure of hypothetical, imagined, not real crimes made by Palestinians, supposedly made by Palestinians against Israelis, Israeli Jews, are used as an excuse to justify the continued oppression of the Palestinians. This is something that all Zionists do. They say, if we don't genocide them, if we don't defend ourselves, they will genocide us. Okay? They want to throw us in the sea. This is one of the most basic 101 Zionist propaganda claims. They want to throw us in the sea. They want to make this into an illiberal state. No, it's the same. It's the same sentiment expressed in two different guises. One is they want to throw us in the sea, and the other is, but what if they will make this state not liberal? It's the same sentiment twice.
Yeah. It's the basically it's the us or them. It's
Yes,
still
us or them
someone.
mentality. Yes.
Yeah, if you know, there's that meme theory that memes have units, small
Yeah,
units. It's like you
yeah,
can say us or them. It's like the small unit of.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Zionism, if you say like, someone told me, I think like if you need to think, it's us or them, and it's also might makes right. Like this
Yes,
is an even
yes.
deeper.
Why do you even think that you? Why are you under the impression that you have the right to determine whether they get a vote or not?
Yeah,
Who are you? Who are you?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, let's. I'm getting really tired, so let's
yeah.
continue for 10 more minutes or something. I find it. I think it's really important to read the comment. I will read the comment. Okay, I will read one more comment, and you will
Okay,
say some thoughts. Okay,
okay.
1 second. I will find it.
The pragmatic one.
The pragmatic, yes. So
Okay.
this is a comment from someone who has an official position in the Hadash party. Elik, you want to explain about Hadash?
It's like Hadash is like a party that is like a communist party. Uh,
Emphasize this. It's a communist party.
yeah,
This is amazing. You will understand why I'm emphasizing this soon.
yeah, and it's a joint Palestinians, like 48 Palestinians
Yeah.
and like Jewish Israelis. They have a place in Tel Aviv that is one of the only places that allow me to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like personal connection, but but we differ as you see in our approaches.
Yes.
Uh,
So this is the pragmatic, okay. So the pragmatic pseudo radical, okay. So someone pretending to be radical, but actually they are a liberal, which means that actually they are a fascist, and they're now pretending to be on our. I'm on your side. Yuval Noah Harari also said, "I'm on your side. I'm on your side," but okay, you will see. I agree regarding equality. I agree regarding Zionism. Wonderful. Okay, great. Uh, let's wrap this up, okay? Great.
mm,
This is the comment. Oh, no, no. Oh, there's more. There's more. Sorry. What is this word? Oh. But no, no. Please, after you say, I agree regarding equality, I agree regarding Zionism, better than what you did now is to just stop. Click enter. That's it. Wonderful.
mm,
But concerning these arguments, the question arises as to what they are for, other than to show how right we are, and preferably more right than others. And what matters is what matters, meaning how we change reality. Oh. So what matters is how we change reality. Okay, let's see how she wants to change reality. And the question is whether the definition and distinction between Zionists and non Zionists is helpful and advances change. Well, my answer to this is yes, it is helpful and advances change. Why? Because non Zionists, uh, I say, no, non Zionists are Zionists. Anti Zionists, I agree. The distinction between Zionists and non Zionists is unhelpful because non Zionists are Zionists. The
yeah,
distinction between Zionists, including non Zionists, including post Zionists, uh, and anti Zionists is extremely helpful because it divides between people who want completely different and contradicting things, okay? Anti Zionists want to dismantle Zionism. They want complete equality, justice, and freedom for all inhabitants between the river and the sea and all Palestinian refugees all around the planet. Zionists and non-Zionists want something else. They want the continued existence of the state of Israel and the Zionist project. Therefore, they cannot be my allies except for very specific, okay, specific points because they want something that is contradictory to what I want. Okay, Elik, you have thoughts until now because there's more. There's more. But do you have thoughts?
Uh, I thought about this point that they always point to us that it's more important for us to be right, and it
Yeah.
comes from a
We're purists,
narcissistic,
purists. They like to
yeah,
say
and
we're
that it
purists.
comes from some kind of a narcissistic bias or whatever, because we just want to speak how good we are, and like I am for collaborating with people and sometimes at certain points making compromises. I don't think it's completely unnecessary thing, but if you don't have principles, so why should I cooperate with her and not with Yair Golan and not Yair Lapid? And
Yair
where
Golan
if you don't have
is a
guiding
yeah.
principle, so what? Where the line goes, who you cooperate with, like right? It's like
The question is about specific cases. Maybe on specific cases, but you have to acknowledge that this is coming out of a place of deep disagreement about our goals, about our very goals. Let's
yeah.
continue reading the comment because if it's not okay. One more thing before we continue. When Zionists speak, one of the most important principles to remember is every accusation is an admission of guilt.
Mm.
So she says you are coming from a place of ego, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is not true. I think that you are coming from a place of principles, and I
Yeah.
think that she is coming from a place of ego. And I think we can show this in this one comment. Because if it's not, because if it doesn't advance change, then I invite you to do what communists do and say, we will sit among ourselves and delve into hyper accurate and anti Zionist theory and political analysis. So now she's saying that communists are this and this and this. She has an official position within a communist party. And she's saying communists like it's a bad thing. This is amazing to me. My
No, she
jaw
says it.
dropped.
No, I think you misunderstood. She says it's a good thing,
Yeah.
but what real communists do, they sit in their own closed room, discuss the radical
Oh,
stuff, but
and then,
when
okay.
they go out, they collaborate with different
What?
people. That's what
Did
she
she
meant.
read Lenin? What?
Yeah,
What?
I don't know. This is,
No, we
I
have
think
principles.
this is how I
Oh, I'm sorry.
understood
So
what
I
she meant.
misunderstood. I misunderstood. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. I misunderstood. And then we will go out with the broadest possible front, one that will undermine all distinctions with every possible ally and act in reality, even with Zionists, and even with the confused, and even with people. Okay, yeah, sure. But for what? But for what? For what? If I act, if I do something, I need to ask myself, what is the goal of this action? And if my action is not achieving this goal, then I'm sorry, I don't want to do it. Well, what is so difficult? I don't understand this. I don't understand this.
Yeah,
And now I want to talk about standing together, okay? Because this is the same kind of attitude that I get from standing together, okay?
yeah. That you're a purist and
Yeah,
you're not.
yeah. And let's not delve into it too much, but I just want to say that I got a lot of comments and messages asking me about standing together, and I see that there is a vacuum in the space of anti-Zionist YouTube. No one did a video about standing together, about why they are normalizers, about why they are Zionists, about why they are liberal Zionists, about why I criticize them all the time. And I decided that I want to make such a video. Okay, I want to make a video about what. So this will. I will be working on it, and I will start telling you when it will come out. But I really want to make like a serious video. I want to make like an essay video about standing together and what is my criticism towards them. So please stay tuned for this. This will be on my channel, hopefully in like a couple of weeks. Hopefully, I want to start working
Mm,
on that. Okay.
yeah.
So this was important for me to mention standing together.
Yeah, and one point on them also
Yeah,
that
yeah.
It's a general point that I want to claim, okay, about
Yeah, yeah.
about the pragmatists,
Yes,
okay,
and also about standing together, I guess.
and also about standing together.
Yeah.
Because there is a thing, okay, they're accusing us, especially the small minority of like real anti-Zionist Israelis here, that we're not pragmatists, that we
Yeah.
stick to our pure goal instead of joining their demonstrations of stuff. So, first of all, I did join during
Yeah.
the genocide few times. Um, maybe, and there was one that we went together, and you were confronting them, and it was,
Yes.
and it's online. You can find it. People who
Yeah.
watch it.
If you go, I will put the link. If you go on my channel and you look up Gaza wall, like, okay, I'm looking up Gaza wall, Hebrew Canaanite. This was a live, this was a live stream that we did from a protest that was supposedly on the Gazan wall, but not really. Not really. Hold on. Why can't I find it?
Yeah, because their chants were really annoying, and at some point, like
Yeah,
Alon
very weak.
couldn't take it anymore and started. It wasn't like a planned thing; it just came out of you, I think, at a certain
Yes.
point.
Yes.
And
I was fed up with the weak ass slogans.
yeah,
Here it is. Here it is. So you can watch this video in the chat. I put it in the chat. This is the live stream that we did from the Gaza wall, where I started yelling at annoying liberal Zionists. In the end, towards the end.
but what did I want to say? Okay,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
there's another woman commented in a bit like condescending way on the post
Uh-huh.
that she said to Noah like, I read two lines of the post and I had enough of it, and then I read your
Oh shit.
comment. And people who don't understand that
To be
uh,
pragmatic.
we need to have a big movement and wide movement,
Yeah.
they are like kind of lost case, lost.
The
But
pathologization of being an anti-Zionist. They always pathologize us.
yeah, like you don't understand that we need a wide movement. But what these people don't understand that this wide movement exists.
Yes.
And it's the BDS movement, and it's the movement to boycott it. And they are the one who are not joining the big movement.
Yes,
It's
that's
not,
that's an amazing point.
yeah. And I think like today I thought about like who is like not pragmatic here, who is not changing, and how are you going? Do you really want to bring change to end the genocide, or do you want to have a nice, fluffy, cozy situation within the tribe that you
Yeah.
live in? And
Even in the pro-Palestine movement, you are a minority. You are a minority in the pro-Palestine. You are only a majority in the not overtly Zionist camp within the Zionist cult. That's all that's the only place where you're a majority.
yeah, and they could join the call for BDS,
Yes.
and I don't think they would have been pushed away. Like people think, this is something that I feel I don't know for how long. If it's another issue, if both of us, if we're gonna stay here and for how
Yeah.
long. But it's not that people in the movement outside occupied Palestine. Oh shit!
What's
Uh,
going on?
I don't know. There's ambulances making a lot of noise. It's not that the people there don't want to have people with Israeli passport on the movement. If there was a strong movement
Mm.
who wants to connect, I think we would have people
We
to
connected
work.
easily. We connected
Yeah,
easily with the
yeah.
worldwide movement.
But people here the truth is that people here are afraid to go against the tribe, against the cult, so they don't join, and then the movement here, the result that it's very weak. It
Yes.
doesn't have the allies of the who could do something. We don't know what to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Like we could get ideas, we could get directions, we could get help, but
Hmm.
it's not. but
We try to do this. We try to do this, but as because the resources are going to standing together instead of to movements that can actually collaborate efficiently and effectively with the more general movement to liberate Palestine, then we cannot enact change. So you are the block to change. The liberal Zionists are a critical block to change, to positive change here.
yeah,
Elik, I'm
cool.
sorry, I'm super exhausted.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But it was nice, good to
I'm
do
not
this.
used to doing these long live streams.
Did
We
we
haven't
had
done it
some
in a long
people?
time.
I don't see
We had
the.
like 70 people, or maybe 80 people at some point. We had a lot
Okay.
of people listening in, and yeah, this was really really amazing. Do you have one last thing to say before we wrap things up?
Um, I don't know. It was good to do this. I felt like it's giving me more
Yeah,
energy. Also, I don't have enough people to
yeah,
like I
yeah,
have,
yeah.
but to put these thoughts together and understand things.
Yeah. So I'm glad we could help each other take these thoughts out and process them and send them into the world. This has been waiting. A lot of these thoughts are things that have been waiting for
Yeah,
me for a very long time because I don't know. There was some block to
yeah,
go up and to talk, but
yeah.
I'm
For
glad
me
that we
too.
crossed it now, and
Yeah,
hopefully we will continue doing these things more frequently, and you will see a lot more content on this channel, on Instagram, on Elik's channel,
yeah,
Sound of Anarchy. Um, so before we close this up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Elik's channel, Sound of Anarchy, watch the Yala podcast, where we do interviews on Elik's channel, watch the One State Solution podcast on this channel. Go to my Patreon, please. If you want to help me financially, the Patreon is the Hebrew Canaanite. What else, Elik, do you want to say before we like promoting? You want to promote some stuff?
yeah. My album, 4 songs. I need to put them
Yes.
on Bandcamp because I know a lot of people are boycotting Spotify, but right now it's on Spotify,
Okay.
and hopefully there's gonna be more.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elik, for your
Thank you.
amazing post that was the basis for this live stream,
Thank you.
and for your thoughts and your words and your presence. Thank
Thank
you,
you too.
everyone who were in the chat. Thank you, Tamar, for being the reliable sidekick. And thank you for everyone who is
Yeah, maybe you will
watching.
bring her again too.
Yes, 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 yes. We will do more discussions with Tamar as well. Uh, Many exciting things are going to happen on this channel soon. There was a pause because I was burnt out. Elik, you were burnt out as well, right?
Yeah.
We were busy doing other stuff, but I think I'm gonna get back to action very soon. And Elik, I hope you join me
I'm
many,
also,
many
just
times.
last thing, I'm
Yeah.
flying to Belgium to perform.
Okay.
If you're at the area, come to my concert. I will post
When will you
about
be
it on my
there?
Instagram. It's on the 3rd of December. It's very
Okay,
soon
soon. Yeah, yeah,
with
okay, okay.
Aya and
With Aya Kagan Ben Ishai,
yeah,
uh, who was a guest on this channel and on your channel.
yeah,
Um, Amazing musician who does radical, anti-Zionist, anti-genocide music like you and with you. So if you're in Belgium, please contact Elik on his Instagram, Elik Arpaz. And that's it.
yeah. I think so.
Thank you very much. Free Palestine, free the entire planet, free all living beings,
Free Palestine. Yeah.
equality, justice, and freedom for all. Bye bye.
Bye.